Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the Pulsar X2F. This is the anniversary edition, but this review should apply for the regular black color as well. The only thing that will be different is colors of the accessories and the coating. So yeah, let's get into it. So in the box, so first off the box, you get a nice blue box. It's a custom box for the 5th anniversary. Then inside the box, you'll get some cable and a really nice blue transparent dongle. Then you'll get some other accessories like some extra skates. You'll get a card that has you'll get a sticker. You'll have a card that has all the beta testers on it and some other stuff like stickers. In terms of specs of the mouse, this does come in with a 3950, 8K polling, and supports up to 32,000 DPI. In terms of shapes, so this is a fingertip grip. It's kind of like a X2, but they cut off the hump. It's a very wide fingertip grip, so you're not really getting cramp much. I used to have a Zowie HTR, and that made my hands cramp a ton, but I could play on this for about 2 hours and have no issues with cramping. My hands are 19x9 about, and I pretty much have no problem cramping. The shape doesn't really change much from the beta. It's pretty much one-to-one in terms of size, but obviously there is some like structural changes, which we'll get into. But overall, the shape is very good. The shape also works very well for casual scrolling. Usually when I casually scroll, even with a full-size mouse, I tend to like kind of grip it more loosely just because it's more comfortable then, and it's actually kind of hard to like pull up and use the clicks. So this is actually the perfect mouse to use like just for comfortable scrolling. But that's pretty much it with the shape. It's a good shape. It has a very wide grip for fingertip, and that makes it a very good fingertip grip for newer fingertip users and people who want to main it. In terms of the QCM build, so my unit does have some minor side flex. I don't feel it while gaming really where my thumb sits, but it's kind of like right back here. Sometimes when I'm holding it a little relaxed, I do feel it, but I don't do that while gaming. It's not really a big deal, but it would have been nice if it wasn't there. It's really only right here. In terms of the weight, this does come in at 38 grams when there's no skates applied. When this was about, my unit was about 42, 43 in terms of the beta. So this isn't going to be a super light fingertip grip mouse. If you're coming from something like G-Wolves, this might not be it for you. But if you come from like a 60-gram mouse, this feels very good as a fingertip. I have no problem with this weight. In terms of the clicks, I'm going to just have a little sound test for them. So the clicks are Huanu Blue Shell Pink Dots V2, and they feel really good. They're some of the best clicks I've used on a mouse. They're much improved from the beta, which just had so much pre and post travel. These are solid. The side buttons, they feel nice, but in terms of, and they're definitely better than the beta, but in terms of positioning, sometimes it's a little hard to reach one of them depending where your thumb is. For me, usually the front one's harder to reach. It really just depends how you're gripping the mouse. So the side positioning isn't the best, but also because you're using a fingertip mouse, side buttons are always going to be a little hard to use because this mouse is all aiming, and then you kind of have to lose your aim to use one of the side buttons, but it's whatever. If you don't want to use side buttons, you don't have to. In terms of these stock skates, so on these stock skates are very smooth. So if you do use them on a pad like the Raiden or some other smooth pads, they're actually going to end up feeling very muddy. So I wouldn't recommend them for those pads, but on textured pads, they actually feel super fast and smooth. You will lose a lot of the texture feeling. You still will feel some. Like on my hind right here, these skates feel really good, and like I can definitely keep them on without having to use aftermarket skates, but on a lot of pads, they're going to feel slow and muddy. So you might have to swap your skates, but also they do outline where you can put the skates. The whole bottom of the mouse is flat, so you can put them anywhere. So that's nice to see. In terms of in-game performance, I had no issues. I was using this on a mix of 1 and 4K polling, and both were fine. There's no performance issues. This feels just as responsive as any other 3950 implementation I use from Zowie, Baxi, other Pulsar mice. In terms of the coating, so the coating is a very smooth, rubbery coating as well. It's definitely one of the better coatings I've tried. There isn't really an issue. I've heard that the black coating on the black version is not as good. I don't know if it's the same as the beta or not, but from what I've heard, it's not as good in terms of web software. So there is a web software for this mouse. I think you could download it also, but it's nothing crazy. It works. It's fine. In terms of price, this does come in at $150. This price is a little steep. I got a discount, so I paid for mine 105 shipped. And for that price, I am super satisfied with this mouse. The shipping should be about $6 if you're in the US, so it's going to be $156. I do think that's a bit steep because it's not like this is an ultralight fingertip and extremely innovative. It's an innovative shape, but the weight is still up there and doesn't really compete with other fingertips. So I think this would be better priced at $120, $130 before shipping. But at the end of the day, if this is something you really want to try, it's not a terrible price. And if it ever goes on sale, it's a super easy recommend, but I can still somewhat recommend it at $150. But should you buy this at the end of the day? So if you're coming from other lighter fingertip mice and you're just looking for a better shape, I don't think I should recommend this just because of the weight, because this is going to be hard to use if you're coming from a 20-gram fingertip mouse. But if you've never tried fingertip mice and you just want a shape that's comfortable and don't care too much about the weight, this is such an easy recommend. Because for me, I've tried other fingertip mice. I did not like them, but this is definitely going to stay in my main rotation because it's just such a good shape. So yeah, it really just depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for the lightest mouse possible, don't buy this. If you're looking for a comfortable fingertip shape that still feels decently weight balanced, then yeah, I could recommend this. But that's pretty much it. And thank you for watching. See you in the next one.